Okay, scholars, it's Miss Petroni here, back with part 2 of the Monday ELT, domain and range of graphs. So, things you have to know. Domain is our x, and basically we're measuring how wide our graph is. So where does it start and where does it end on the x-axis only? Range is how tall our graph is, so we're looking at the y-axis. Where does it start? Where does it finish? So for domain for this graph, I look closely and I see that it starts at, because there's a colored in, shaded in dot here, it starts at -5. So I'm going to write -5. And then it ends at x equals 0. Now a lot of people get confused and they're like, oh, it ends at 5. But no, we're looking at the x-axis. So it ends where x equals 0. Because these are shaded in, this means that the -5 and the 0 are included in our domain. So I would say -5 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 0. Now for the range, I go from bottom to top. So, my y value is also starting at -5. And it's going to +5. So my range would be -5 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 5. Looking at the next one, again, domain is my x. I'm looking across. Range is my y. I'm looking up and down. So my domain, it starts here and it ends here. So it starts where x is -1 and it ends where x is +1. And because these are shaded in, I'm going to do these symbols. -1 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 1. The range is actually quite similar. It starts at -1, it goes till +1. So I'm going to write the same thing. -1 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 1. This one is a little bit different because I have open circles, not closed. So for my domain, I'm starting at -1 and it's going to +3. So remember, domain, I'm only looking at the x-axis, kind of seeing how stretched out my graph is. So it'd be -1, but because -1 has an open circle, it's going to be -1 is less than x, which is less than 3, because also 3 has a open circle. Now my range, the lowest point in my graph is -4. The highest point is +2. So -4 is less than y, which is less than +2. Looking at this next one, for my domain, the first point at which I see the graph is here, which is at x equals 0. And because it's a line, it's included. So I would say 0 is less than or equal to x. But then, the graph goes till x is 4. This is an open circle, so I do x has to be less than 4. For range, I'm going from -2 to +2, both open circles. So I write -2 is less than y, which is less than +2. For this one, for my domain, it's going from -5 to +5, open circles. So it'd be -5 is less than x, which is less than +5. For my domain, so the lowest point is here, highest point would be here. Since here there are open circles, I would write -4 is less than y, and then I go to -2, which has a point on it, so it'd be y is less than or equal to -2. For this one, for the domain, I'm going from -2 to +2, open circles. And then for my range, I'm starting at -3 and I'm going to +5. But the -3 is a point on the line, so it's included. So I'd do my inequality symbol like this. and then I'm going to positive 5, which is not included. Okay, this one, my domain goes from -3 to positive 5, open circle, and then a closed one. And my range goes from -5 to positive 5. Again, closed circle, and then an open circle. Okay guys, this is the last one I'm going to do with you. But the domain goes from -1 to 5. Open circle for both. The range goes from, this is where y equals 0 to y equals 4. Okay, and oh, it looks like there aren't any on the back, so yay. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.